Good morning. Well, today is the day that I'm going to show you my Do-Si-Do mini album. I had shown a couple of pictures of the first one. I didn't really go into depth with the Do-Si-Do mini album because this was like my prototype. I was just practicing with it. Now, your whole idea with the Do-Si-Do album is that you can have two albums in one. So maybe you have a little boy, and so you want a boy side, and then the other side, you just flip it over and you have your little girl side. Now, I tried something totally different with the Do-Si-Do mini album, and I do have the tutorial for the one I'm going to show you, the Waterfall one. And the whole idea behind this was that you would get so many uses, but I'll be honest with you, this is like making two albums at once, so it does take a little bit longer. And I redid it so that you could have it done as a weekend project. As I did it this way, there was a few things that I've learned that I'm going to do different, and I'm going to show you those. Okay, the tutorial will come out on November 1st. And so in the tutorial, I'm showing you how to make the album cover and inside, not the decorating. And so at the end of this video, I'm going to walk you through the decorating. The construction, though, and the waterfall will be in the tutorial. And so I want to show you this, and there's a few changes that I would make, and I'm going to point those out. Number one would be the side flaps, because they will not work, I learned, with magnets, due to the fact that you have two sides pulling, and it depends on what you put inside. So I'm going to remake this. When I remake it, I'm just going to do the side ties. As you can see right here, it just ties. And I may do some flaps that come over the front instead of trying to bring my side closure. So that's what I would do different. So if you're going to be making that tutorial and you don't want to do these side flaps, which I still like them, you'll just leave these two ends off of each end of your paper, and you'll know what I'm talking about in the tutorial. You'll put this end and this end, one at the beginning of your paper that you're covering your chipboard with, and one on the end. Just leave these off. When you leave those off, you'll come up with this effect. You'll just have the open ends. So I just want to let you know that ahead of time, so you don't make it. Some of you may be unhappy with the gap. I'm not, because actually it gives me room to add more. And as you add more, and actually as you bring your tie close tighter, then it takes away that problem. So let's get started. So this is called a Do-Si-Do album, and that's an actual name from a very old book that journals that had been made this way. So as you can see, it's the Do-Si-Do album. Well, I'm going to start with this front cover, and mine measures, the cover's 9 inches by 6.5. I wanted it to be more the waterfall, and I'll show you what I added inside. So I used the Graphic 45 Mon Amour paper. Isn't it gorgeous? And the whole idea between mine was I had 3 weddings this year. 3 boys were married. So, excuse me. So this is going to be the bride side. So I chose the very girly paper, the old-fashioned wallpaper. Actually, one of the bride's rooms almost had this identical look on the Victorian home where they got married, and so fell in love with it. And then these are just the cutouts. And I'm going to walk through it more at the end. So I just want to show you. You're going to flip this side open. And here. So my sister Scrapper, I feel that she basically started these waterfall minis. She made the smaller version, and they're fantastic. So she has just the flip over smaller. And you can actually do like she did in her tutorial. You can also make a pocket here where you just put a bunch of tags. You can put 2 waterfalls. You can put my hingeless pages in here. If you watch my hingeless page tutorial, they will fit beautifully on this side. Of course, a smaller version. So you can do so much with this. But the idea is the bride can write her wedding date, maybe a few details or who her bridesmaids were. Then when she opens it, she just has a nice trifold here for the bride. And actually, I was thinking more the bride's parents. So the bride will go here, and then she has room for her, you know, those beautiful pictures that all brides have taken of themselves, their bridals. Then she'll have room here, and so that'll be a nice area for that. And then over on this side, she'll have room. Actually, I will be putting the pictures of the bride's family in here. This ribbon is just gorgeous, and I'm going to have the paper kit. And it actually is velvet. So there's velvet. Let me bring that in the middle. And it is also the stretchy. The reason I wanted the stretchy is I want my waterfall to be able to expand a little bit. And for the waterfall, it was the 6x6 papers with one of the 12x12 sheets. The reason, you know, we're going to put pictures there, so I didn't want to take one of my fancier papers. There was no sense in that. So this just ties close, and that's what I chose for the bride side, was the elastic ribbon here. And then it's really girly, and it looks very fluffy. So there's our bride side. So we're just going to bring this over, tie it shut. And actually with the Do-Si-Do album, it'll work better if you set it up to do your closure. You can do it. You could do this with a clasp closure, and even a rubber band closure might be really nice. So there's the bride side. Now we're going to flip it over, and as we flip it over, you can see we've got some black happening here, and we have our groom side. So I used more of the bling and more of the black and red on the groom side. So we just open his side. And here we have the same trifold page, but of course I used one of the ephemera cards for the groom. And then we can put pictures of the groomsmen, maybe those wonderful shots that you get father and son where he's tying the groom's tie. So they'll fit beautifully right there. And then for the waterfall, I didn't dress it up as much as the girls. I used a little bow tie made out of ribbon. And then I did the closure with a magnetic band closure. And I used more, of course, of the the masculine papers out of the line. So this line, at first when I looked at it, I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with it? I felt it had been so theme-based, but now I've got so many themes in mind for this. It is gorgeous. There's going to be so many fun things we can do. And this is actually one of the stickers out of the line. So I only used one sticker, like 2 chipboards. It didn't take a lot. You will have a lot of leftovers for other projects or to make many more albums. And you don't have to make yours wedding themed. As you can see, this could also just be a Valentine's theme for a boy and a girl, of course, boy and girl, or you can make it more feminine, whatever you want to do. And then I put this on cardstock just to make it a lot firmer. Then I just hold it up. Like I said, this one ties a lot better standing up. So there is the Do-Si-Do album. And once again, I want to show you really quick. If you leave those ends off for these flaps, then you'll just have the tie. And actually, for this type of album, because you have pressure on both sides, I actually like the way that lays better. So when I redo it, I'll make sure I do a tutorial, but it's very simple. Just leave those 2 and 3 inch, there'll be 3-inch end pieces off. So let me put that aside. Okay, so I did the walkthrough on the album. That way you don't have to hang out for all the small talk if you don't want to. Couple of things I want to show you if you're doing the tutorial. Sorry, I'm just getting a few punches. Okay, if you're doing the tutorial, I'm going to do a little walkthrough because I didn't do the decorating part on camera. I'm terrible about that, and I'll get better, I promise. So, for the cover, I just covered it with the same paper I used on the inside. This is just some flat ruffled lace and the pearls. Now for the flowers, because I had someone ask. This is one of the punches I used. It's a McGill. They do have these They have them at my local Hobby Lobby. They should still have them. And you can see it's nice and big. I also did a tutorial on making flowers, these exact same flowers, and I will put the link down in here on YouTube. On the tutorial, I'll put the link down for my flower tutorial. And there's tons of others out there. Mine, I feel I just simplify it because sometimes making flowers can be time consuming and you don't always have a lot of time. My other flowers will be these two. And these are now available. I know they're still available at Joann's. Just saw them at 2 different Joann's the other day. And they're just the Fiskars. So those are the 2 punches I used. Now for this middle piece, this little guy, I used the other McGill. And this is another one that is available at Hobby Lobby. And of course, if you're not buying these stores, just go to Amazon. So the ribbon is some that I also sell. And then for the inside, let me just go through this. So for the inside, because this was 6.5, I just cut this down to 5.5 by 5.25 by 7.25, and then I made my 2 flat pages. And if you watch my videos, I show very easily how to add your flaps to different projects. And you just make the 1/2-inch flaps, add it to your booklet, and you're set. Now for the waterfall, I showed you how to do the waterfall. Then I just cut my pages 1/8 of an inch shorter. And these were all just from your 6x6 paper pad. Added a chipboard, cut the butterfly with Martha Stewart, and then the Fiskars little butterfly, and just hot glue those babies together. And then there was cutouts. All these little squares are just the cutouts from your paper sheets. But I trimmed these down to fit. So those fit right on the side. And I even put the ribbon on in the tutorial. So for the man's side, again, I used that big flower punch. Then I made 3 of the smaller and did my rows. And this is the chipboard. The Fiskars butterfly. This was just bling I had. And I know you can purchase this by the roll at Hobby Lobby or Joann's. Cut out, and now this was from the ephemera card pack, and you can do so much with that ephemera card pack. If you haven't seen a Gravik 45 ephemera card pack, let me show you one. Actually, this one is what I'm working with now, the World's Fair. And not only do you get a wonderful image on the front, but you get wonderful journaling spots on the back. So this is the World's Fair, and you'll get the postcard. This one was extremely beautiful with the grays and the blacks. So each one, you get 2 of each. And this way you don't have to cut them out of your paper stack, because they're also on the paper stack. So don't feel you have to get this just for these 2, because they will be on the paper stack. They are sized a little different though, just to give you a warning. And then I just cut out 4x6, 4x6, 2 different coordinating papers, angled my ephemera card and laid it down. And of course I inked, the boys' side, I inked it in black soot, and on the girls' side, I inked it in Vintage Photo. So now on the inside, and this, it will open this way. I forgot to show you. You can open it flat to see the cover on both sides. This was the ephemera cards. It was the smaller one. Just cut my flowers. So you'll notice on my projects, I make all my flowers. And then I did the same for the inside. And these were just from this was just from the sticker pack. Did the waterfall, made the band, and I do other tutorials where I've shown this, how I do my bands. And then this was just a little bow tie. I just quickly took my 2 pieces of ribbon together, pinched it, wrapped it, and sewed it together. Very, very easy. And again, the 6x6 pad on the bottom, and for the top was just leftover pieces of this, because this is the back side of this. So that's what I did for the decorating. And that way, if you want to follow along, because I did have some requests that they wanted it exactly like this one. That way you have also the pictures to look at on Facebook, if you follow me on Facebook, at Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations. We have a scrapbooking page for the store where we also do crops. We do a lot of fun things. And let me tell you, if you find me on Facebook, it's Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations. It's also linked to my store Facebook page. You will have so much fun because we do 3 to 4 crops a year, online crops where you can stay at home in the comfort of your home. Prizes, games, we do it all online on the Facebook page. So you come over there and find me, and then you'll also have the pictures of the album if you're trying to recreate it. And like I said, this is going to be November's free tutorial. It will be up on the 1st, Sunday. And I will walk you through the creating of this album. And as always, especially if you're on my Facebook page, you can just message me and say, I need help. Where can, I've done something wrong. Can you help me with this? I love helping you. I love giving my free tutorials because I think the free tutorials shows you, because even I get stuck with, oh my gosh, I had no idea what to make with this paper. And then this just came to my head and I thought, oh, I need to make this. So, and that's how my creations begin, just with an idea. And then I love to share them with you because if you know what to do with the paper, you're going to create things. And when we create things, we make beautiful things that are absolute wonderful gifts, bridal shower gifts, birthday gifts, wedding gifts. And you can just make them at home. You don't even have to go out and buy them. So there's that album. And I just want to tell you really quick, keep watching in November. You're really going to want to get on my Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations page because we're going to have blowout sales. A lot of fun things are going to be happening in November. Bo Bunny and a few of the other companies, Heartfelt Creations, has made it possible for some wonderful package deals they're doing that I'm going to be offering. And you won't want to miss November because we're having the Get Crafting Early blowout sale starting the 2nd of November, and it will go all the way through the end of November. So I hope you like this album, and I'll add some links down below, and don't hesitate to leave me some comments, and especially if you make the projects, share them. I love to see everybody's projects. Thanks for watching, and until next time, bye-bye.